And speaking of arcades, Ian,
Bop-a-doo.
this was an interesting little
Thing.
piece of merchandising that
Merchandise.
kind of surprised me. In the past, home arcade units that were licensed have been few and far between. There's ones that you could buy at Walmart or Target that were like the Konami, 40 ones that were made. They look like garbage.
Yeah.
With like really cheap buttons and joysticks, and they were just generic, licensed, but multi-cades.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. This is something that sort of bridges, I think, the gap of quality, I'm hoping, between the ones you would be able to find like at a Walmart before. What's the Walmart one called real quick? And buying a total reproduction. This is called Arcade1Up at Home Arcade. So what this is are 3/4 scale arcade machines. So they're not the full, like 6 foot tall, over 6 foot talls. These are, let's see,
4 feet.
almost 4 feet high, about 19 inches wide, which isn't that big, and 23 inches deep. So they're scaled down, 3/4. They're upright arcade machines, but being that they're smaller, you're going to probably have to sit down on them in order to play them comfortably or have a little stool.
I never thought, is this roughly the size of a cabaret cab, or is this its own thing?
I think they're probably a little bit smaller than a cabaret. Now I think about it. I can't remember the last time I played a cabaret, but cabarets, I think you can still stand up on, I think.
Yeah.
When you play a cabaret. So they're offering 5, they're basically multi-cades with, I'm guessing, an LCD or LED screen. But they're interesting. They're very interesting in that there's a different control scheme on a few of these based upon the set of games.
That's what I like about these. So, for instance, let's start with we'll start with an easy one like Centipede. The Centipede one is a great example of why these are definitely more interesting than most multicades. So, with most multicades, almost all of them are going to have Centipede on it, and you get to play Centipede with a fucking joystick, which is absolutely miserable. It's one of the worst things you can do with your time.
With your time.
Yeah. No, I mean, go ahead.
Might as well sit on a fence.
I mean, I'd say snorting gravel is a better use of your time than trying to play Centipede
All right, Ian.
with a freaking joystick. It's awful. So the Centipede one has Centipede, Crystal Castles, Missile Command, and Millipede. 4 good games, all that require a trackball. So this mini cabinet comes with the trackball built in and everything set up so that you can actually play these 4 games properly
With Centipede artwork.
With Centipede artwork. So it takes usually yes, this one has the Centipede artwork and a little Centipede marquee. And it's set up so that you can play these 4 trackball games, hopefully, properly. And then another one, there's this Asteroids one that has the proper button layout for the actual Asteroids game.
Thank you.
It also has Tempest, Major Havoc, and Lunar Lander. There's a spinner on this, which means that you have the proper control scheme. Whether you're playing Asteroids, Tempest, Major Havoc, or Lunar Lander, you have the right controls at your hands for
No, you don't
all
need a
of
spinner
these.
for Asteroids, but it's optional, and it'd be cool to use it.
it's well, that's there for Tempest.
But I'm just saying, you could, in theory, use it to rotate, though, in Asteroids.
Well, I guess I don't know if they would add that though. I think it's just probably there for Tempest.
Okay, but either way, I'm saying either way, you have the traditional layout.
Yeah.
You have the 5-button layout you need for Asteroids.
It's giving you what you need for these. The only one that's a little upsetting is the Rampage one is what a fucking.
Well, we'll get the Rampage in a second.
Okay.
Let's look at the Street Fighter one. So the Street Fighter one has your traditional 2 joysticks, 6 buttons. It's a Street Fighter 2 Champion cabinet, which I always like, that little grayish charcoal, the little fuzzy thing going on. And you get Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, the regular one. So you get those 3. Most people probably would stick with Champion or Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yep.
On that. And then now we get to the one that Ian has a problem with, and I kind of do too. So this is branded as a Rampage Midway classic arcade machine. You get Rampage, Gauntlet, Joust, and Defender. That's a good. They don't all fit together exactly, but they're all games within the same library, and they're all classics. So you get 3 joysticks with a couple buttons each on there. So that's perfect for Rampage because that's a 3-player game. Gauntlet's 4 though. So if you really want to be technical, that's kind of upsetting. They probably did it for cost and keep the cabinet smaller.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
minor
guessing.
beef. It's minor because it's small and they have to keep it small. It's just they have the 3 for Rampage and Rampage only needs 3. It's nice that they threw Gauntlet on there. Honestly, I mean, even if they put a 4th one on there, it's probably impossible to crowd 4 people around that.
If it's only 19 inches wide, yeah,
Yes.
that's you're gonna be like this anyway. You're gonna be doing the little finger dance.
So I guess I really can't complain about it, but still, that's pretty neat. And then so then real quickly,
And the last one,
you've got the Final Fight.
Final Fight, Ghosts and Goblins, 1944, The Loop Master. I never knew that was the subtitle. And then Strider. So this is an interesting little Capcom collection. These are all excellent games in the arcade. They don't like fit together when you look at them, but they're at least, they're all Capcom classics that were popular in the arcade.
Yeah, 1944, I believe, is 2 players simultaneous as well as Final Fight, so it gives you something to do with those 2 joysticks.
Yeah.
So they're neat. I think as far as multicades go, look, style, size, I think they're all pretty cool. I'd really have to see the quality of like the LCD screen.
On the button quality.
The button quality, stick quality.
What type of joysticks they're using. They look decent, but I can't tell. Looks like they're using... You can't tell really what type they're using. Let me see if I can find that on the site here.
So concept-wise, I like them. Would I ever buy one? No, they're not. They don't appeal to me in that way. However, I think for what they are and what the concept is, I really do like... I like what they've done despite it not being for me. I really like the fact that they picked the games.
They use the real artwork.
They use the real artwork and they picked the games and matched them with control schemes that make sense. What I've always said is that the appeal of an arcade cabinet, especially for me, is that it provides the unique control schemes that make some of those old games what they are. It's very hard to recreate the feeling of something like Asteroids at home. It's hard to recreate the feeling of something like Centipede at home. You can't do it without the right button setup, or you cannot play Tempest anywhere but an arcade. I'm sorry,
You need a spinner.
You need a spinner to play Tempest.
That's why
properly.
I put a spinner in my main cabinet.
So it's really nice to see this as an option. The Centipede one is really tempting to me. Centipede's one of my favorite games of all time.
So these are going to be $3.99 retail or $2.99 if you pre-order them. The accessories are kind of silly. They have a branded Arcade1Up stool if you want to sit and play, or a riser. Looks like it's about a foot and a half to make it the same size as a traditional arcade machine. Obviously, it's
still skinny.
Still skinny. You could probably make your own. I don't know if it's like a $20 item, $30. I would probably buy it just to not use the stool. It is what it is. They're trying to keep the cost down, but still provide a solution for you. Get a little more money out of you for that. So there's an FAQ here. What's on the FAQ here? Where can I pre-order these? You can pre-order them GameStop, in-store, online, at Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, FYE. They still exist, FYE? I guess they do.
Yeah, they do. It's weird.
Will retailers carry the machines in the fall? Most major retailers for the 4 core machines are Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, FYE, Hamacher Schlemmer, and Scheels. I guess they're not in this country. All right. The risers and stools will be at Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, FYE, and some specialty stores. Are you distributing to mom and pop stores? We do have a distributor. Okay. And they will be available in Canada and Europe. So, all right. I think at $300, I think that's a good price point for these.
I think 300
is a little much.
Yes, exactly. I didn't realize that the pre-order price was pre-order only. Yeah, 400 I think is a bit much. I think 300 is actually a pretty decent sweet spot price. At 400, I think you pick your favorite game and start saving for a real cabinet.
If you want just now they sell those combo new ones. Centipede, you can get the Centipede, Millipede, Missile Command, like licensed real giant ones, but those are probably going to cost you a couple
Those are probably
grand.
going to be real expensive. I mean, it's tough for me to say. At 400, I start thinking about, well, where could I put this?
Yeah, 400, I think I'd like a real size reproduction one.
That's more what I'm thinking.
Now it's just not a novelty at that price. Now you want something more substantial.
But 300, I guess.
This is what I wanted a Neo Geo thing to be, kind of closer to this.
If I had 300, I would be real tempted if I liked If I like Tempest just a little bit more,
They're not that big.
if I liked
19 inches wide. That's like nothing.
if I like Tempest just a little bit more, or if I was rich enough, I mean, Centipede would be a no-brainer for me if it was like a really nice quality.
So that
'cause I
one,
love
so that one you
Centipede.
get, if you had a choice, if you had your druthers, you get that one.
Centipede. Oh, Centipede would be
I'd probably go the Asteroids Tempest one first, because I'm probably a little more fond of those, even though I like those games as well. That's probably the one I would go for.
I've said
first.
forever, Centipede. If I could, I have no interest in owning arcade cabinets really, unless it was like a candy cab with a bunch of shooter boards. But if I were to own one classic arcade cabinet, it would be Centipede, because you just can't recreate that one at home.
Centipede, you can't run away. You can't run away.
Goddamn fantastic game.